I want the both of you to introduce yourselves. I want you to tell me a little bit about yourselves. Tell me about where you grew up and what you're doing now.
Yeah,
Sure.
great.
Cool.
Well, my name is Musa. I'm from the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Yes.
That is in the southern part of Africa, in between Swaziland and Mozambique.
Wow.
My dad was from Mozambique, and there was a civil war in Mozambique. To escape it, he moved into Swaziland. That's how we met up with my mother. My father wasn't a very good man. So he committed a very serious crime, and he was the most wanted man in my country at the time.
Wow.
And so the police were after him, and he wasn't lucky the day. So he was shot and killed by the Swazi police. And of course, news got to my mother. She was very upset and very devastated by the situation. However, she had to come up with a plan, and the plan was to move the entire family into the streets. I'm the third oldest. I have two sisters and one brother. So we moved into the streets when I was only 2 years old, and it was very, very difficult for us. It was literally, the survival of the fittest. To get money, we used to steal, we used to beg, we slept in abandoned buildings with everything we could to survive. My older brother joined a notorious gang, and my two sisters got involved in prostitution, including my mother, just to get money.
Wow.
Life just got harder and harder. And at the age of 7, I got introduced to drinking, smoking, and taking drugs just to survive the winter cold, and, also to escape reality in a sense.
Wow.
And so I always knew there was more, and I wanted to change, but I didn't know where to go, what to do.
Yes.
Because the life that I was living, it's basically all that I'd ever known.
Right.
Then my sister, at the age of 12, she got pregnant and took the baby, brought him to me, and left him with me to look after. I think he was like 7 months old. I obviously couldn't take care of him because I was on the streets, and I couldn't take care of myself later on, this young boy. So I just took him and gave him to some people that I knew will take care of him at the time. And that was just God's grace, because I wasn't even thinking right. And they did take care of him, and he's doing very well right now.
Good.
He's actually in our house as we speak. And somehow he was able to come into another program that takes care of vulnerable kids, and they took care of him. And so life just got worse and worse. And I knew that if I didn't change, the life that I was living was only leading me to death and destruction.
Yes.
But, God had a plan, because, there were people that constantly came into the streets, and they will minister to me and tell me about the love of Jesus. Of course, I wrote them off, because I thought, if Jesus loved us, why would we be relegated into these situations? Why are my sisters in prostitution? Why is my brother spending more time in prison than he is with us on the streets? And, why is my mother in such a mess? And why, am I surviving and just struggling to even get the next meal?
Yes.
So it was very hard to hear about Jesus and how he loved us. But these people were consistent, they never gave up on me.
Yes.
They came on a daily basis on the streets and told me about the love of Jesus, and told me about Teen Challenge. So I was like, Teen Challenge, it's a rehab program where they help people with life-controlling issues.
Yes.
And also street kids at the time. So
were these evangelists?
I don't know who they were.
They were just people of God, right?
They were just people
angels
who had a passion and were sent by God. And
yes. Okay, so I want to stop you real quick. We're going to put a pin in that. I want to hear from Waheedah. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your upbringing.
Sure. All right. Well, my experience was completely different.
Different, yeah.
I'm from Ohio, so that's one difference. Also, you know, being in America, you're awarded certain comforts and you don't even realize you're not even necessarily proud of them. You just have them.
Yeah.
So, and I know people struggle. I'm not speaking for everyone, but certain basic things I did have access to, and that was food, shelter, a home. You know,
Yes.
one of the things is, even though I come from a single parent home, both of my parents are very active in my life.
Yes.
So I had that. And growing up for me, I have 3 older brothers. It was all about organized sports and just having fun, to be honest with you. I think I
Yes.
had actually a great childhood.
Mhm.
So in comparison, if you're looking at it, it's completely like the opposite
Yeah,
end.
night and day, night and
Yeah.
day. So how did the two of you meet?
Right. So we met because after I graduated from college, it's crazy because I wanted to go in a completely different direction. I was studying Japanese. Yeah, just this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into foreign service. And then at a certain point, I was like, okay, I should ask what God wants me to do. And then I realized, hey, I actually been doing my own thing. And now I'm inviting him to come in and say some things, you know? And so anyway, an opportunity opened up for me to go and just go to Africa for a year. And well, actually 3 months. So I thought I was just going to go there, get an experience, hug on some children,
Yes.
you know, love on them, do that sort of thing, and then come back to my original plan of foreign service. But while I was there, I knew that that was where I needed to stay. Obviously, I met my husband too, because that's what you asked.
Right,
Yeah,
that's what I asked.
Yeah, you know, I met him.
I want to
And
know how
so
it
that's how
came
it happened.
together.
Yeah. And that was when we met in January 1st, 2010.
Mhm.
Wow.
He was the
Okay.
only name that I can remember.
So I was the tour guide when she came.
The tour guide.
I was
Yeah.
just taking them around, showing them the sights.
And you were
And
like,
she-
ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
whoa, look at this little thing. Oh, okay.
So she extended his stay because everybody was there for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
She decided to stay for 3 more weeks. I mean, 3 more months.
Yeah, 3 months.
And then it was during the time that you know, we began to build a friendship, and I was like, oh, I think, you know, this is the right person, and we started praying about it, and the rest is history.
Let me tell you, that's called God's divine connection.
Yeah.
What's meant to be is meant to be. He already ordained for the two
Yes,
to
Yeah.
meet before the foundations of this world. Okay, that's what happened.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He made it very obvious that we were
Yes.
supposed to be together. And I think he did it in a very big way because I'm so dramatic. So I think I needed to really be convinced that
Yes.
this is it. Africa
Right.
is it, and he's it. You know, otherwise I was really focused on my career, my plan. So
Yes, yes, yes. So Musa, I want to go back to you. Wow. Like, wow, you know, when I listen to your story, it's almost unthinkable. It sounds like a movie, but you lived it. You lived. When you were 7, did you have any conscious knowledge? I know you were 7, but did you realize this isn't right? It shouldn't be this way?
I just knew that I wasn't comfortable and I wasn't where I'm supposed to be, and that you know, there was more for me. But
Yes.
I just not know what that looked like in reality. And the more I had that void, the more I went out, you know, and got involved in horrible things just to kind of fill that gap and that space I was feeling on the inside, because I didn't know what it was. I would just, you know, drink and hang around with the wrong crowd, even at age 7.
But that was your environment. It was
That was
all,
my life.
yeah, it was your life. It was all you
Yeah.
knew. And I say this a lot, that we can't control where we're born, what family we're born into. And sometimes each of us have different experiences through life. And we, you know, we have to figure it out, you know, but we're not in control of that, you know. So okay, so you guys were on the street You had a fast life with your brother. You said your mom and your sister were prostituting. Your sister had a baby. You handed your nephew to somebody you knew. So you said that. So he's grown up now. He's doing well.
Yes, he is. He's actually going to college as we speak, and
Wow. Where
doing
is
really,
he?
really well.
Is he in the States or is he back in Africa?
He's back in Africa where we stay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is just God saving grace right there.
Wow. And so may I ask, is your mom still living?
No, she passed on in 2004.
Okay, in
Yeah,
04.
but my sisters and my brother, they are all alive and
Okay.
they are doing good, and I see them. So that's just a miracle how God is this kind of
Yes.
protection over us.
And he brought you guys through and he brought you out.
Mm,
Yes.
absolutely.
So, wow. So let's talk about Emerge, your nonprofit. Bring me back to the day that it was born.
Absolutely. So I then went to Teen Challenge and my life was transformed. I graduated and then I became the director of Teen Challenge and started looking after vulnerable children. In fact, we had about 350 kids that were given to us. Most of them, they were brought by the social welfare, by the police. Some of them, we picked them up from garbage next door.
Yeah.
And so I started running all those programs and I was the pastor there. And, and I knew that there was more for those kids. And I think that's why God allowed me to go through what I went through so that I can be able to, minister more effectively to other people, because I've been there. I know what it's like. And so I could relate literally with everything that the kids had going on. And they were open and vulnerable with me because they knew, oh, this guy is just like us.
Yes.
And so out of that, it was good for us to see the kids going in the program and getting saved and receiving Jesus. But one thing that we felt was missing in the whole of Swaziland as a whole, and not just for the centers that we're running, was mentorship and also skill development.
Yes.
So Waheedah and I were praying and saying, Lord, is there something in addition to what we are already doing that you would like us to do? And we felt God was saying we should start Emerge. So Emerge is a program that helps people identify what it is they are meant to be doing. It's all about going out into the streets and finding those people that are relegated by circumstances to the lowest of the low, the very dragon of humanity, the people that will never actually fulfill their potential, the people that are forgotten by society, the outcast. And so we take them, we bring them into the program, and we match them up with the counselor, somebody that will help them cultivate the skills and the talents that they have. So we don't give them a skill, we cultivate what they already have. So it's a skill program that helps to, with skills. And so we have like carpentry, we have sewing, auto mechanic, and
hair care,
everything.
So that by the time these people, they're done with our program, they can go back and create a job or find a job, and, so that's the idea of Emerge, to empower the next generation so that they don't have to be dependent. They can, be interdependent and dependent as well.
So this is part of your holistic approach. So it's not just a skill set, but it's other aspects. It's the mental aspect, right? And so Waheedah, I know that you have a passion for the young ladies. Talk to me about what life is like for the average young lady.
Yeah, so I think one of the big things to recognize is 1 in 3 girls have been abused before the age of 18. And that's those that report. Because of the culture, you do not report what has happened. If anything, at all costs, you protect the men. That's what you do. And so what we're seeing that's happening is abuse after abuse after abuse. And now you have all these generations of women that have been abused. So not just the girls, all the way up. They're trying to speak into the girl's life, which is good, but they also need to deal with their own issues and maybe, deal with those root of the things that they're facing, because everything is filtered through that abuse not being addressed. And so my big passion is for these girls, because I want to see them rise to their full potential.
Yes.
And one of the things about this part of what happened with Emerge and really us jumping into it is, when I first got there 10 years ago, I was like, whoa, there's a huge need with these women, with these girls. Someone needs to speak into their lives and tell them who they are. Like, you don't have to live like this. There's more. Yes, maybe you can't change your environment, but like you said, you can break that mindset of poverty. And so that's where we come in and we help. And we've been running the girls club since I think 2010, actually. No, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the average, I don't know if that answers your question.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, the average is everything that they face, whether they get up, they're going to school, they're going to work, whatever their day-to-day is, filtering life through that abuse.
So the current climate of the culture does not really support great mental health and progression. Is that accurate to say? Amongst the young adults coming into their own, and at a time in a space where, they should be learning and growing and figuring things out.
Right. At a much slower pace, I would say, because I do think we've seen some development over the years.
Yes.
You could see people are starting to recognize, wait, something's not right.
Yeah.
Don't know how to fix, almost like Musa, when he was like, as a kid, he could see like, I shouldn't be living like this, but I have no idea how to change. So that's where Emerge steps in, where it's like, okay, something's not right. Let us help you. Let us figure it out together and grow together.
But also, it's not a culture where young people are encouraged to voice out their opinions or to talk about issues that really, really bother them. And it's worse because it's a kingdom. And currently our government system is not doing that great. That's why we are going through a civil unrest as you speak right now, because the young people, they feel like they can't be heard, they cannot progress. 70% of the young adults currently in our country, they are unemployed, which is part of the reason why.
You said 70%?
70%.
Wow.
Because the reason they are unemployed is because the government is not looking after their satisfaction and development. It's all about the people in leadership getting great status, and it's not about the people. So it's very, very sad.
Can I just add to that? Mm-hmm. I think it's important to also recognize that one of the things that we do is really trying to challenge that mindset of, now the government must do something for me.
Yes.
You see, like, one of the things that Musa always talks about is how the keys, you hold the keys to your life. Mm-hmm. And so we're trying to really tackle that. Like, yes, the government isn't doing A, B, and C, but what are you doing?
Yes. So, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So part of the program is to help these young people identify that, actually, you know what, despite what happened to me, like what happened to me personally,
yes,
I can take ownership and responsibility, and the secret success of my life is determined by what I do every day.
Yes.
And taking ownership of where I am spiritually, emotionally, physically, and even financially, you can do that. It doesn't really matter what happened, as sad as it might be. We are trying to help them recognize that they cannot blame everybody for their situation or even the color of the wall. Because if you do that, you can't be able to move on. And the big issue right now is the poverty mindset that we are trying to break. Because if we can break that by helping these young people realize that they have the keys to their future, and giving them a skill, then they will be able, to go out and make a difference, mm-hmm. and create a job or find a job. Ultimately, that's what we want for them, to be able to see that it's got to be, it's up to them.
Yeah.
Mhm. Do you promote a lot of entrepreneurship with that mindset? Because when you say, the 70% of, this age group that's unemployed, and if the government isn't really structured to, that whereas it has jobs and jobs available and so on and so forth, are you encouraging them to look, you have to make it happen yourself? You're in wood shop, build, carve out a boat and go sell it, or, have a business. And
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is, actually.
Yeah, that's like the focus. Like, oh yeah, we can't wait.
right.
They're being back in America, it's been interesting seeing these now hiring signs everywhere. We don't see that.
Wow.
We just don't. It's nowhere. I don't think I've ever seen it. Never, because it's hard to find work. But
Yes.
we take it, I think we even take it a step further, also with entrepreneurship. Yes, you have that business. So we teach them to have that business, be business minded and so forth, create a job if you don't have one. We also really focus on them also teaching others.
Yes.
So yeah, they go
I
hand in
love
hand.
that aspect. I love that, because you're giving back. Each
Yeah.
one teach one. Have you heard of
Yes,
that?
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
learn,
so
apply, and
empowering.
teach.
Yes, yes. So have you guys been, have you had any challenges? What has been your most challenge in developing and molding and creating Emerge?
I think I can probably answer that, right?
You can. I mean, you can.
Well, yeah, we both have, we got
Yeah,
challenges.
because I know it's not easy.
Yeah, I think
No.
one of the biggest things is we really launched Emerge in, I think, first week of March 2020. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes. Now, even though certain things didn't get in place at that time, we still were able to run with it. And believe it or not, we used our home and people just came. They just kept coming and coming and coming. One of the challenges I would say was the fact that obviously we're in a pandemic,
Yes.
but also like connecting information from Africa to America because of that. So that's one aspect, but that's something that the whole world faced together.
Correct.
Another aspect is getting people to, I guess what I can say is getting people to recognize that we're here to help them.
Yes.
So if you're not used to people pouring into your life and speaking into your life, you can be like, what's their intention? What do they want from me? And it's like, we don't want anything.
Yeah.
Just want to see you succeed. So that's also one of the things, is like breaking those mindsets of actually you can do it. Yeah. Someone's going to actually cheer you on to do it.
Yes. I love it. Musa?
For me, the biggest was leaving what I was doing, because I was running the residential programs, but then God was like, this is the next step for you. And everybody was like, yes, this is needed in the kingdom and for the residential programs, offer it. But I thought, that will mean I have to give up the house that we were living in. I will have to give up the car. I will have to give up my salary. So currently, we're without a home, we're without a salary. But we had to step out in obedience and execute what God wanted, because it's not about being comfortable, it's about being in God's will. And obedience. So I think that's like the most challenging thing, even being here in the States, to just fundraise so that we can go and actually get the ministry going. And connecting. It's been challenging, but we believe in God for the best.
Yes, absolutely. Just a couple of things. I want to let me say this. When I was doing a little research on the both of you, there's a scripture that came to me, and I'm going to read. I'll get to the point I want to actually share. Matthew 25:40. Inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. So you guys be encouraged, because you are being obedient. And I think it's so amazing when you can hear the call upon your life and you answer that call.
Yeah.
Knowing that on the other side of it, as I listen to you guys, the work that you're putting forth, like I said, I know it can't be easy, but knowing that everything you're doing, just saying something, teaching these young men and women, encouraging them, like you said, Waheedah, just saying, yes, you can do it. And just that alone, do you know that changes the trajectory of the lives of these young men and women? What would their lives be like in the future if they were not exposed to Emerge? And your obedience. So be encouraged, because you may have had to give up those things, but it's nothing for God to restore it. He owns a cattle on 1,000 hills.
That's right.
So I encourage you guys. I'm so like impressed with you. And I really, really am. And I just love it. That's why I wanted to talk to you guys today.
Yes.
You're in the trenches.
Yeah.
You're in the trenches. Yeah, you're out there doing God's work. And that's amazing. I like that.
One of the things that always I've learned in life is never get comfortable.
Yeah.
For me to move from Ohio, actually went from Ohio to Hawaii and then back to Ohio. And then anyway, yes, I went to
just came back. I just came back from Hawaii, by the way.
So
I was in Oahu. Oh
yes, that's where my school is. Okay.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, we will.
I didn't want to leave.
I'm afraid to take him because I think he might give up on the vision. No, I'm joking. You won't. Sorry. All right. Well, what I wanted to say was that one of the things that I've learned in life is not to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And when I moved from Ohio the second time and then came to Africa, obviously it was out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
I didn't speak the language. I didn't understand the culture. I had a lot to learn. And I somewhere along the line, I got comfortable myself. And it's almost like we think we did that one big thing, or we did a few big things, and now it's okay. Now we can be comfortable. God's always growing us, always teaching us, and always humbling us. So it's important that we always are listening to him and watching out. What is he saying? Because now here's Emerge. And both of us could have, like he said, easily just say like, nope, this is our comfort zone. This is where we want to be at. But I love how Musa says it. And whenever anyone asks, are you guys ever going to move to America? Now, we don't know. But one of the things he says is, my country needs me. Yeah. If you go there to Eswatini and you see, you're like, oh, they need us. There were so many people right here in the US that invested in me personally. I had the privilege of going to my high school yesterday, and just speaking to the students there. And some of my teachers were still there. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Thank you for investing in me. And then I just thought like, wow, all those people, all my life, having that great childhood, invested in me. Now I can teach I can go and all the things that I have learned and have been taught. Why not take it to this country that is crying out, help me, help us. We're hungry, we're receptive, we'll do it. Just tell us what to do. How do we get out of this?
Yes.
How do we change that mindset?
Yes. And that's what you're doing. Is there anybody so far that you haven't been able to help that's come your way and it's been, I don't know, a little too difficult and you've had to maybe steer them to another program or to somebody else?
Way too many. Yes.
Oh, wow.
We can talk about a couple of ladies, maybe talk about Karabo and the girls, and then I can talk about the young men.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking that through a little bit, like people that we haven't been able to help. Yeah, that's a good story. So what he's saying is we have a relationship with a wonderful young lady. And right before we got on the plane to come, we get a phone call from her in the middle of the night saying she just got raped. And it's not the first time. She wasn't in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was on her college campus just going to school. And as heartbreaking as it was, we both us and her were very thankful that we had each other to walk through that process, because we were able to get her, walk her through trauma healing, and then also point her to another type of healing where she meets with the counselor on a regular basis for a longer period of time. And we had that wonderful relationship with her as her mentors. 2 days after that happened to her, 3 other girls also got raped at the same time. Now, who did they have to talk to?
Wow.
Because a few days later, 2 of them committed suicide. And this is
Oh,
what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing.
It's what we're doing
So
on a daily basis.
when you talk about people that we cannot help, those are people where we didn't necessarily turn them away. They just didn't know we were there and we were available because they don't know about Emerge yet. You know, it's growing, it's getting there. Now imagine we have our support groups through Emerge going onto the campus saying, hey, we're here. No one's forcing you, but we are here. This is a time where you can express what you're going through.
Yes.
It's a safe, you don't have to end your life. I think also some other people that we can't necessarily help directly in our program, and we do have to turn them away, are people that have like deep psychological issues.
Yes.
They need additional help.
Correct.
You're in partnership. And this is what I love. Because of Musa's 24 years of experience in the various orphanages and all that rehabilitations and abuse centers, and me joining him in 10 years or 11 years into it, we have such a wonderful group of partnerships. So if someone does come, we can say like, okay, we can't help you here because we focus on this. But guess what? There's this person and there's this ministry or there's this organization that can.
Right.
We hear them in that way. Then again, it all comes down to personal choice.
Yes, yes, yes. Were you going to say something, Musa?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just thinking about a young man who came to visit me because he had a passion and a dream to be someone of significance in Swaziland. He just wanted to change the world for Jesus. Unfortunately, he got involved with the wrong crowds, and he died. But the good news is, even though I know that he died, he was able. I was told on his last breath, he gave his life to the Lord, and so we were able to minister to him, and we know that he is in heaven with his Father. And so during the discipleship time that I had with him, it paid off at the end because he's rejoicing. He's not in pain right now. And we wish that he was here, but we know that he's in heaven with God the Father. And so that's just the impact and just showing and giving the word of God to people so that they can be with God ultimately, because that's the whole goal of the Image, is to disciple people so that they can have a relationship with God.
That's the real gospel.
Because if you can have a relationship with God, then that takes away, the fears, the intimidations, and you can be all that God has planned and intended you to be. So our program is all about God and getting the people to know God, so that they can be his people and change the world.
Because it's sustaining. That's what sustains. That's what's sustainable.
Yes, it's absolutely. It's everything. It's that relationship with the Lord is everything. Your salvation is everything. It's everything. Absolutely. And I love it. I'm so proud of you guys. And, I'm proud of what you're doing. And you guys, you're change agents. And you are my inspiration of the day, of the weekend. How about we go the rest of the year? Let's just keep going. I love it. No, I love what you're doing. Because like I told you earlier, you're making a difference. You're making a difference. And I know that there's sacrifices involved, but that's how it is. But the Lord will continue to carry you guys through. I want to ask, what are your current needs right now?
All right. He nodded at me. Well, we have several. We do have quite a bit of lists. We have everything from great needs to little tiny needs. But I think our greatest need right now are monthly supporters. We do need people that will come alongside us there. We
Okay.
also need people who will help us get our building up and going.
Mhm.
Then those that will sponsor certain projects.
Okay.
So for example, our carpentry project.
Mhm.
Can someone cover that for a year?
Yes.
Right. So that's what I mean by the finances thing.
Yes.
I guess another big need is our sprinter or van, if you will.
Yes.
I'm so excited about that one because one of the ways that we find our students, we find them in 3 different ways: social welfare, our partnership organizations, and different partnerships that we have. They're out in the bush. And then the other way is we go out. We have our van, we go out and we get the people. You know, I just love it. We do need that van.
Do you transport them back and forth to your home, the programs? Okay.
Yes. At the moment,
Yes.
it's this way. In the long term, we're taking a phase approach. At the moment, that's how it works. So no one has an excuse, they can be there.
Right.
All right. And Swaziland is kind of small enough where you can drive, you know, get people. Not everyone has, it's not like America. There's not a lot of cars going on. But, you know, at least, you know, it's small enough where you can commute if we gave you a lift or a ride. I forgot what I was going to say.
How do they find us?
Oh yeah. How do they find us?
Image.
Well, so you need the van. Just what are your needs? So you have the van, and so we were just talking about the transportation and getting folks back and forth. So you meet people through the agency, through the social agency,
social welfare, because there's, you know, working with them. We were foster parents as well, so we have that relationship there. So we meet them that way. Through our partnerships, and then also we go out and use the van to actually get people. Oh, I was telling you about the phase approach. So eventually we'll have them do a residential program because it's really important that we take them out of their surrounding areas. To really pour into them and prepare them for going back into that as well.
Right.
So
okay. So how can people find you? How can they donate? Will you have campaigns, or how are you approaching?
Right. Currently, we are thankfully a 501c3.
Yes.
And so you can find us on our website at www.365emerge.org. That's www.365emerge.org. What we have PayPal giving available there. If you have any issues, you just give us an email. We're right there. And then we also have a GoFundMe page as well.
Oh, good. Okay. Is that on your website as well?
You know what? It's not on our website. What I will say is that we also have an Instagram page.
Okay.
On the Instagram page, it's 365 Emerge.
Yes.
And on the Instagram page, you get your updates right away. We stay on that. If you want to know what's going on anyway, right there, we do have a link on our Instagram page.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And I'm going to encourage everybody to support this wonderful, wonderful organization. Is there anything that you guys want, anything more you want people to know?
I personally want to say,
yes,
if you're watching today, you can be a part of Emerge.
Yes.
And one of the things that you can do is you can actually come. We always say, pray for us. Yes, give to us. We need it. But we also really would love for you to come and offer a skill. So
wow.
I know you didn't see that coming, did you?
No, I didn't.
So consider coming and offering your time. Like if you have a trade, we're starting with blue collar work mostly. So if there's that carpentry, that welding, that sort of thing, absolutely. If you have business skills, management skills that you want to teach a session, or even leadership skills, something like that, that's welcome as well. ESL, you know, a lot of people are like, well, I want to go, I have a great heart, but I don't know how actually, you know, I don't know what to do. I was like, you can teach English.
Teach English. Oh,
you can
wow.
help me. I teach the English, so you can help me.
Wow. Wow. Musa?
I just said I teach the English, by the way.
I think the average person, you know, especially in Swaziland, they only live maybe 10% of their potential, see only 10% of the that is around them, and taste only 10% of the deliciousness of life. And most people there will never actually see or seize their potential, because somehow, somewhere, something has gone wrong. And we need people to come alongside and help us to bring about the transformation and to change the lives that God has entrusted us with, in order for people to live their life to the full. And so by praying with us and coming and supporting, that will make us to make a difference.
Wow. So if somebody came over there, how would they be set up?
Right. So first thing they'll do is the way to do it is to actually email us, let us know the whole thing. And basically what will happen is at that point, we'll see on this calendar what works. We'll also do like an assessment of what you can actually, how you can be used, and how we can work together and partner together. And then at that point, we would talk about housing, timing, flights, all the little logistics as well.
Okay. And before we go, I know you guys have 2 beautiful children.
We do. And they're being so good.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm going to let you go. I know you have to get back to them, but what will you tell them, as when they get to an age of understanding life a little better, Musa, what would you tell them about your life's experience? What would you tell them about your childhood?
Well, what I really want them to know is that it doesn't really matter what you've gone through in life. What matters is what you do with it.
Yes.
Because, we are all going to go through difficult circumstances, and we make wrong choices sometimes, but, not to write yourself off and give up on yourself, but to recognize that, you're only human, and to live life to the full, because we only get to live once, and that life is not just about, living, suffering, and dying. But fulfilling the plan that God has for you and enjoying life, no matter how difficult it gets.
Yes. And Waheedah, I'm going to pose the same question to you, but Musa, last, what are you most grateful for when you wake up in the morning?
The greatest gift that I currently have is a gift of life. Because without life, I will not be here, and I will not be fulfilling God's purpose. I will not have a family. So I'm very grateful that I'm alive, and I get to do what God wants me to do, because I'm still here.
I love it. Waheedah?
What am I most grateful for?
Yes.
When I wake up?
Yes.
I think I would go just slightly, I would say, second chance. Musa was talking about, as if he was sharing with the children what he wants them to know, and we bump our heads, we make mistakes, other people bump their heads, they make mistakes, but a second chance, and living life from that viewpoint of being given another opportunity to do right, and so is that person, and I need to extend that to the person next to me as well.
Yes. I love it. You guys have been so awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. And we're going to get this message out there to the people that need to hear it and be encouraged. And I am looking for praise reports. I'm looking for Emerge to continue on and to keep building and growing and all of these good things. And I'm looking for the reports from the young men and women who are going to come through your organization. And it's going to happen. It's already happening. It's in progress. Yeah.
You should see the waiting list. Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. And you just need the extra support now. So it's on its way.
Yes, thank you. Also, can I just add now, thinking about this, if you wanted to hear more about Musa's story, he does have a book, that really tells it. And one of the wonderful things about that is it actually gives, I think his story shares the story of everyone in Eswatini. You know, if that makes sense. This is some of his things that he's going through is a thing that many of the people have gone through. If you want to really grasp what's going on in the country. Yeah.
Sounds good. And where can we find the book?
All right. Once again, that Instagram page right
Yes.
in the link or whatever it's
Yes.
called.
Yeah.
Check it out there, and there's a link directly to that book.
Okay, sounds
Called
good.
Second Chance.
Oh, we love second chances.
Yes.
You guys
Thank
have an
you.
amazing day and have a safe trip back.
Thank
you so much for having us.
Okay,
Really.
take care
thank you
now.
for taking
God
the
bless
time.
you.
Absolutely. Same to you. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Okay. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.